boys and girls, it's Art Time with Mrs. Kine, and this week we are talking about form, and we are making our shapes and we are turning them into form by adding shading. We will be adding highlights and we will be adding some shading to our work. And today our project is drawing a balloon dog, and we're going to add highlights and shading to that. So remember, every week before we start drawing, we always warm up our fingers. So let's get our fingers ready. Wiggle your fingers. Roll your wrists one way. Roll your wrists the other way. Rub your hands together. Wiggle your fingers. Get them all ready to do art. Now, as usual, I'm going to start with a marker so that you can see. You can start with a pencil. You can start with a color pencil, with a crayon, whatever you want, but I will be using a Sharpie. So we're going to make a balloon dog, and the shapes, we've been talking about shape, the shapes that a balloon dog makes are a lot of ovals, and they're all connected together. You've seen someone twist a balloon, a long skinny balloon together. They twist all the parts together and they make it into different things. Well, when you twist them together and make a balloon dog, it makes oval shapes. So we're going to start with the middle of our dog. We're going to make a big oval, and I'm going to make my oval by doing this. It's not going to be perfectly round on the ends because the balloon will kind of pinch together at the ends. So there is the body of my balloon dog. I'm going to make the front leg right here. I'm going to make another one there. So that's the front leg. But I'm going to make the back leg right here. That's the back leg. I'm going to make the tail come up this way. And at the end of it, it's going to have the beginning of the balloon is usually a long skinny piece, so we're going to put that kind of right there. Then we're going to make the neck of our balloon dog. It's a smaller oval. We're going to attach that right there. Now the face is going to come off this way. We're going to draw an oval going this way. So we're going to take our marker and we're going to go here. Then I'm going to come back around and put that there. Then I'm going to make my balloon dog's ears this way, and I'm going to make that curve down a little bit. Now we're going to add a little bit of detail to this before we color it. The part that you blow into the balloon is a triangle shape. We're going to make that our dog's nose. And our dog has two ears, so we're going to let the ear peek around the corner here. So we're going to draw just a little curved line there. And we're going to do that down here at the bottom. Do another little curved line that tucks down, and we're going to do another little curved line that tucks down because we can see two legs and two ears for our balloon dog. So that's our drawing. The next thing we're going to do is you decide what color you're going to make yours. Mine's going to be the blue balloon dog. And this is a part of art where you as the artist have to decide where the highlights are going to go, and we're going to mark our highlights before we color. It's really important that we mark that off and keep the highlights the white of our paper. That way, as we are drawing, we don't color over that part because we want the white to show. Now, the shape of our balloon dog is this oval. We have a lot of curved lines, so that means our highlights are going to have to be curved also. So what I want you to do is decide where some of your highlights are going to go. And I'm going to start with the body, and I'm going to draw a long curved line here, so like a flat rainbow, and I'm going to draw another one under that, and I'm going to connect those. I want to keep this part right here white. I don't want to color that part. So I'm going to do that over here on the other part of my balloon dog. I'm going to add some more highlights in some places. So I think I would like this part. I know I have this oval going this way, and this oval is also going the same way if you look at these two ovals. So I know I want to add that highlight right here for this part too. So there's my highlight for the head of the dog. Now the rest of my ovals are going up and down. Even though this one's turning a little bit, our highlight is going to be in the same spot for these ovals. Now the part that's peeking out here, these extra legs, and this extra ear is not going to have a highlight. We're not going to put one there. That's in the back and that's in the shadow a little bit. We're not going to add one today. So we need to decide which way the light is going to hit, and we're going to do where the light hits it. Whenever you look at an object, in the sun or with a light inside, when the light hits it at a certain angle, you see a highlight, and the opposite of that will be the shading or the shadow. So if the light is hitting the top of the dog here, then I think I'm going to make this side here my highlight. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to add this shape here, and I'm going to add it to the leg here, because remember, it all has to be in the same spot. Once we decide which way it goes, it's going to be in the same place on all of these ovals. So we're going to put it on this side for all of these ovals. So we have decided where all of our highlights are going to go. We're not going to highlight this little piece here. So now what I'd like for you to do is color in your balloon dog, but don't color in your highlights. So I'm going to do that right now. Notice how I'm carefully going around my highlight, and I'm going to leave that right there. So I'm just going to keep adding my color, and we've got a highlight. We're going to do that here. I'm going to add the highlight here. And we just color this in. We're going to do that here. I'm going to keep adding this highlight. We're leaving it alone. Remember, we're not going to add anything to this area. We're going to let that stay right there. And you can already see that it's starting to give us a little bit of an idea of form, because it's the same shape as our balloon. This line is the same shape, so the highlight staying the same shape. It starts to give us the illusion of having 3 dimensions. Our 3 dimensions are height and width, which when we're drawing on paper, we have height and width. But when it's a real object, it has depth. Like our crayon has height and width, but it also has depth. It's a 3D object. And when we draw, we are trying to give the illusion of our drawings having depth. Even though it's on a flat piece of paper, we can draw things and add highlights and shadows to make them look like they are 3-dimensional. So we're going to keep doing that. You're just going to keep adding your color here. And we're going to do that here also. Alright, so once you get that done, okay, so we have all of our highlights showing. So the next thing we're going to do is color in the tail and the nose. And now we have these extra legs and ear. And when things are behind something, it's darker. So now as you color, what I'd like for you to do is press down on your crayon a little bit harder than you did before, but not hard enough to break it. But we're going to make that a little bit darker, because it's behind. It's going to be a little bit darker. It's in a shadow, and we're going to add more shading to that. So we have highlights. We made this area darker. Now we're going to add some shading to the opposite side. So we have the highlight on the top, so the bottom needs to be darker. We're going to do that by adding gray. So my gray crayon is broken, but that doesn't mean I can't use it. So the opposite side, what I want you to do is add a little bit of gray. And you're not going straight across. Remember, boys and girls, we're following an oval shape. Our balloon dog is shaped like an oval. And we're going to go from one point to the other point and just add some gray on top of our blue. And you can blend in your crayon by just going over it lightly back and forth. We're following the shape. And we're going to do that here. We're going on the opposite side of where our highlight is. Always go on the opposite side. We're going to go on the opposite side here. And then we're going to go on the opposite side here. And then we're going to go here. We're going to still add some shading. And here. And this is our last one. We're going to add some shading here. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of gray to the extra legs and the ear. Not a lot, but a little bit, just to make it look like it will blend in more and it will make it look like it recedes. It goes back in space a little bit. We're adding a little bit of gray on top of this blue, not a lot. You don't have to press real hard, but go ahead and add some. Now, our balloon dog is starting to look like it has form. It has a highlight and a shadow. It doesn't look flat like it did at first when we drew it. See, here's one I drew earlier of a shape of a balloon dog. This is the shape, and it's just our ovals. But then when we add highlights and we add shading, it starts to have form. It starts to look like it's three-dimensional. Now, boys and girls, you can add a background. You can put your balloon dog anywhere you want it to be. It can be in the middle of a city, like the sculpture Jeff Koons put his in a city. They've been in museums. You could have your balloon dog in the middle of a field. You could have it with other real dogs if you want to. But why don't you spend some time and draw a background for your balloon dog? Don't forget to sign your work. Hope you had fun drawing this balloon dog, and I'll see you next time with Art Time with Mrs. Kine. Bye-bye.